I've prepared a small overview for you guys, so please bear with me. Starting from, there are kind of 4 phases that are critical in my opinion before even moving to the implementation of the changes and any change initiatives. So I've broken it down into 4 phases, which I'm going to talk about in a second, one by one. So first things first, when I'm joining new business, so basically new customer whom I engaging with, be it for implementing agile ways of working, be it for Jira configuration, Jira service management configuration, and so on, I start from building the context and understanding the strategy that they have in place. So in that phase of the context building, the main objective is to uncover the current operational landscape. So understand who is the customer, understand what type of product they have, understand what type of services they offer, understand what is the structure of the teams within the business, understand how the work is usually flowing through the business as of now, and so on. So throughout phase 1, the main exploration areas are the conversations about the strategic objectives, like what is the plan, what is the future state of the business, what type of goals they do have defined for themselves in the future. So what is the strategic objectives, what are the business goals, what are the existing workflows, and also how they operate as a business, be it for product delivery, planning the product, prioritizing the work, communication, decision making, also managing the risks, and so on. In that stage, I also engage with them to understand the tools. And very often what I see is the landscape of very split, disconnected tools with even more need these days to have it connected. I also try to start having conversation about the pain points, but I will talk about the pain points a little bit later in phase 2. So phase 1, one of the best tools I can recommend to build that context and understanding of the business is Business Model Canva. So in here, when I engage with businesses, I would help to put the name onto the partners' activities, what is their value proposition, what type of customer relationships they have, and also try to look internally how they operate as a whole. Or maybe they do have struggles and challenges operating as a whole. Phase number 2 is where I delve deeper into the framing the problem and analyzing the root causes of the problem. So the main objective of this phase is to have identification of what's really holding the organization back. That can come from the workshop engagements, where I would engage either with the owner and founder or with the teams. And with the teams, it's up from how the company is structured and what are the decisions on that engagement. But I would in here most likely analyze it from the conversation with team members. I would run the bottlenecks workshops to discover what are the problems in the business, and I would also run my own audit. So having access to the tools, having access to the teams, how they engage, what's the team dynamic, I would try to analyze how as a whole also they operate. So I would put my experience and my kind of agile coach and business management consultant and Atlassian expert lenses on top of the business operations. So in here the main outcome from this phase would be to really have common understanding of the problems and where these problems exist in the whole process of business management and product management or service delivery. 2 tools are standing out for me in here. One is the value stream map. Ideally, if this is the current outlook, so you could even commence it as a kind of simplistic flow of these are the processes from the moment when we have a customer. So what's the flow of the process from the moment when we have customer requests for new functionality in our product, for example? Or what is the flow of the process from the moment when the customer is creating service desk ticket, and what are we doing next internally? How do we engage cross teams, and how do we work towards fast ticket resolution for the customer? So that state, like current state value map, this is the tool that is very powerful. Obviously it can become very complex and complicated, multidimensional, but at least on the beginning it is very useful to grasp the understanding of the flow when it comes to how we as a business ship the value and create the value for end customer. So that would be one tool, and the another one is the problem tree. So in here we would delve deeper into the problem. So we would frame the problem and name the problem. So that could actually come from the bottlenecks that could be defined in the value stream, and having the bottlenecks definition, it would be easier to frame the problem in here. So for example, in the bottlenecks, we would be having the problem that customer tickets resolution takes too much time because there is the same team, development team, handling these tickets whilst also doing product development roadmap implementation. So we've got the same group of people handling different type of jobs and actually struggling for capacity most likely. That's why there is a bottleneck that result in the inefficiencies and longer resolution time for all of the tickets raised via the service desk. So in this case, this problem could be framed in here, and we could commence the analysis of the root causes, and also firstly explore even more the effects that this problem has on our internal landscape as a business, but also on the experience that we provide for the customers. And from the effects, it would be good to look into the root causes. So that would be stage 2 of working out the building the common understanding for the scope of business processes optimization. Step number 3 would be, after knowing the strategic outlook, after knowing the business context, after knowing where the company would envision to be actually, and after knowing the challenges and problems, this is the time where I engage with businesses to design that future state of a business. I would act as the business coach, asking probing, open-ended questions, and help the business to create a vision for how that ideal future state of a business would look like. So on that stage, the best and mostly powerful tool would be just to have the business coaching conversation. And the coaching is a key in here. So this is really about helping business to grow. So through asking these questions, I would help the business owners, management teams, or the teams themselves to define the ideal, even better than now, future state of their operations. So in here, the exploration areas could be how we want to work in the future when it comes to the product planning. So the how would be what the team would design, but through the future state design, we would put that definition of a future state together. So example of it could be, in the future, we want to ship our product releases each 6 weeks or each 10 weeks. In the future, we want to have our customers' ticket response time decreased by 50%. That's some of the examples of how you could approach it. What is very important in here is to be clear of the time frame of that future. So in here we don't work too much with the 24, 36 months. I'd rather suggest that we keep in here the perspective of 6 up to 12 months, simply because things are changing so rapidly. And it's healthy for the businesses and teams to review their plans more regularly these days. So we have come through phase 1, 2, and 3, and the last one before we even start engaging into change initiatives and implement those changes is to have the roadmap and some sort of execution plan. The main objective of it is to have all of the insights that we've collected so far, especially those coming from phase 2 and phase 3. These insights would become items on the roadmap. In here, the recommended approach is to have just the high-level initiatives. As on the roadmaps, you wouldn't put all of the granular small details in here. You would rather focus on naming and framing what is that you want to tackle in particular week, month, or quarter. So that's why it's the most important is to define these initiatives, and then after we have completed the roadmap, try to have internal collaboration and conversation with the teams how to start breaking down these high-level initiatives into actionable plan. So that's very important. Also, what is crucial on that phase 4 is to have that conversation with a leadership team and with anyone who can influence and decide the plan on what do we want to focus on. Are there any quick wins for us? What are the priorities? Do we see any risks? Should we mitigate this risk? So this will help us to craft more accurate plan of activities, and from that more accurate plan we would just purely focus on the most important items. In here also what might be very useful would be the OKRs, so you can consider having objective and key result that you would define and design around your change initiative. So that could be yet another way of breaking down high-level initiative item into actionable expected results, and then use them to be refined together with the teams that will be working on the change initiatives. So this is what I wanted to prepare for you today. If you are looking for any advice or support with how can you start defining the scope of the changes, be it for your product development, be it for the service delivery, how to optimize the bottlenecks in your business, and how to configure Jira and Jira Service Management, feel free to contact me and I'm happy to help and exchange with you.